Hello guys. Oh, wait, hold on. There we go. Now we have the sides, guys. Oh my goodness. Yes, hello guys. You know, it's really cold in Florida now. But you know what gets me heated up? RAM shortages. Specifically, RAM shortages due to corporate greed. And that's what we see going on right now. Sources say that we've been in a recession for a long time, and computer prices, computer components, they're getting more expensive, you know? Expensiver, as I like to say. And that's why I would like to present you guys with the recession beater. Now, you guys might look at this and be like, yo, what the heck is that? And you know, were we supposed to clap? Were we supposed to be happy? What do you mean, my brother in Christ? You know, were we supposed to clap or something? Well, yes, you guys were supposed to clap, because this that I have right here is actually a PS5. What if I told you that this has the same, I mean, a little bit cut down, but you guys know what I mean. A similar power level to the PS5. You guys heard me correctly. A PS5. And not only that, but this thing right here, it also runs Linux. Okay, but what the heck actually is this thing? This thing is known as the ASROCK BC-250. And this beauty right here cost me for about 1/5 of the price that a regular PS5 would have cost me. Only being $120 or something like that, actually. It might be a little bit less. You know, this thing was made by ASROCK. This thing is basically a cut down version of the PS5 APU. All of the information that I'm going to present to you guys today was found in a GitHub repo by Moth Enjoyer 69. Thank you so much. You know, maybe if we could reconsider that naming scheme, that's okay. You know what? We'll look past it. It comes with 6 Zen 2 cores, which is pretty good. You know, if you ask me, that's pretty good. Boosts up to 3.49 gigahertz. This thing has 24 compute units, which is actually 12 less than the PS5's 36. You know, 36 minus 12 is 24. And then, as you guys can see, as for the I/O, right here we have a singular M.2 slots that, yeah, it runs at PCIe 2.0. Yeah, this is a 4.0 drive, which, by the way, the astute of you guys that remember, I got this thing for free. As for the I/O here, guys, we can see it comes with 2 USB 3.0 ports, a DisplayPort, which I love DisplayPort. I despise HDMI because of, you know, how they do the royalties, how they do their copyright. Gigabit Ethernet, which for a lot of people that's a little overkill, but for me, you know, I'm like that. So I have Gigabit Ethernet. Also comes with 2 USB 2.0 ports, and these right here, reset button and the power button. And you might be asking, oh, what? I don't see no 24 pin or, you know, standard stuff. It actually comes with an 8-pin power connector, which that's all the power it needs. All it needs is just 220 watts from a PCIe 8-pin connector, which is, you know, if you ask me, that's pretty easy to feed. And you know, you might be wondering, how the heck did I come across this thing? You know, well, shout out to Budget Builds officials, you know. He was one of the first people that actually saw this from. So thank you so much, my go. Please notice me. If you notice me, I'm gonna be so happy. These have been popping up as far back as 2022 from ASROCK mining rigs during the crypto mining craze. These were originally priced at above $1,233, so $1,233 back in 2022. This all happened during the crypto mining craze, you know, when, you know, you couldn't even get a like I don't know, a GT 1030 for less than $200, which was low-key crazy. Adjusting for inflation, this thing would have costed $1,364 today. And you know, the astute of you guys might have remembered from the beginning of the video, I actually got this thing for a $1,200 deficit. I don't know, guys, but that's a pretty good deal if you ask me. So for starters, you guys might have already seen, we're gonna be using my 980 Pro that I got from a friend for free, because her brother was throwing stuff away. We're gonna be using this 600 watt, 80 plus gold rated power supply. That's actually from Cooler Master. I got this thing back when I was extremely broke. Not much has changed. I got it in a bundle with a case. You know, I could either choose between buying a case or a power supply. And I was able to find that you could actually buy an OEM, I believe it's an HP Omen case, and it came with a power supply. So I was able to get this thing for a pretty good price. It's 80 plus gold rated. It's 600 watts. It's just a standard 24-pin power supply. You know, the moment you guys have all been waiting for. What OS will we be using for this? We're gonna be using Bazzite. Honestly, I wanted to use Pop OS because that's what I daily drive on my main PC, but I tried to do a test yesterday. It went terribly wrong. The first time I tried to record this video, I tried to use this stupid power supply. This is an FSP 530AS, you know, some of you guys might know it as the Intel Nut Canyon Ghost power supply. This thing absolutely sucks. Here I have a cardboard piece with all of the measurements that I took while trying to figure out how to power this thing on. You know, resistant values, ground values, you know, all these pins. I cannot figure it out. I think this thing is not meant to be used. I mean, it's not a standard power supply, as you guys can see. That's a 10-pin power connector. What motherboard do you guys know that has a 10-pin power connector? You know, so maybe some of you guys in the comments are smarter than me, and I'm okay with that, you know? I'm okay with admitting that I am not good at doing something. And if you guys can help me out on how to get this thing working with this thing, I would love it if you guys told me. But enough yapping about that, you know? How are we gonna power this thing if my 24 pins, you know, this thing is not gonna turn on if we just plug it right into the power and anything? Well, I'm using this jumper cable to short pins 4 and 5 on my 24-pin connector on my power supply. Please, guys, I hope you guys know that I am not an electrician, nor am I any sort of experience with electricity. I have just done a lot of research. And you know, you know, this thing will probably melt. You know, I kind of forgot to put a fan on this thing yesterday when I turned it on, and after a few minutes, it was smelling like something was burning. I really hope that did not blow it up or melt something. That would be extremely bad. But you know, this can't be a scratchy tech video if there's not some jank. I don't have a proper power button for this thing. I don't have a proper fan for this thing. I don't even have a case. So we're gonna be using this fan case that I took from my main rig. We're gonna be putting it like this, and that's all we need. It's just gonna be blowing air straight through it. If this video gets to 1,000 likes, I will make a V2 part of this video where I doll it up. It's gonna have a full-on case. It's gonna have a full-on power supply. It's gonna have a full-on power button. It's gonna have an actual flex, you know, flex APX PSU. It's gonna have like an actual enclosure fan, an actual fan for this thing, and it's not gonna be jank. And if we get to 5,000 likes on this video, I will give it away. I'll give it away. I'll give it away at the end of the V2 video. In the middle of this recession, you know, we have to beat the recession in the name of Jesus. We cannot lose to this, bro. You know, we are stronger than this. You know, the people, a house divided cannot conquer. We must come together and beat this recession. Yeah, this is a sign. This video in and of itself is a sign of a recession. Let's just get it all together and try to turn this thing on. So enjoy this time lapse. Okay, guys, well, I believe that we have gotten everything in order. Everything is plugged in, as you guys probably saw in the montage, in the time lapse. That's what I meant to say. Oh my gosh, I finally remembered. In the time lapse, you guys might have seen me bridge pins 4 and 5 on my power supply, which, there we go, that's good. And then here I have my power connector. Okay, so I'm gonna plug this in, right? I'm gonna plug this in, and then when I snap, we're gonna have a different camera angle you guys have never seen before. We're gonna get more reveal of the scratchy desk, or the Juan desk, whatever you guys want to call it. You know what? Man, yeah, for sure.
Are you sure that it's plugged in?
You know, by the way, you guys might be wondering why this thing didn't just turn on as soon as I plugged it in. There's a little, you guys see the little pin out right there? That's the auto power on switch. If you have it set to pins 1 and 2, it'll automatically turn on when it receives power. I have mine set to pins 2 and 3, which means that you have to press the power button in order for it to turn on. I just like it better that way. It's more dramatic, I guess you could call it. Hey guys, I'm about to press the power button. Let's, oh, not good. Oof. See, I was just testing, guys. I was trying to see if you guys were sharp, if you guys knew what was going on. We're gonna try it again. That never happened. That was just an example of what you should never do. Make sure that all of your cables, any stuff you place on your fans, is away from the fins. You guys heard? We're gonna do that again. That was genuinely atrocious. I messed up. I did something and it genuinely messed it up. Oh my gosh, what did I do? Whew, I was just testing you guys. I was trying to make sure that you guys, okay, we're gonna try that again. Okay. Whew, okay. Hello guys, you guys can see me in the reflection. Face reveal, woo! Face reveal right now. Okay. Let's just go through these things. So we see that this thing has a total of 16 gigabytes of memory. It says that the build date is September. Why do I keep finding things from September? I promise you guys, I'm not doing this on purpose. September 12th. What? Processor type BC-250, as I told you guys. 16 gigabytes of total memory. Hardware monitor, standard mode. We're gonna try to set that to full speed mode. Oh, jump to 10,000 for a second. That is not 10,000 RPM. Oh my gosh, this thing cannot reach 10,000 RPM. And I would like to think that the fan is doing its job, but like, oh, not good. Oh, what happened? Power button again. This thing just be pulling weird things. Okay. Oof, we're good. Guys, we're good, we're good. Okay, yes, here was my attempt to use Pop!OS on this thing yesterday. Did not go well. We're just gonna go into my USB 2.0 with Bassite downloaded into it. Okay, Bassite Live ISO. Okay, I'm just gonna go through the process of setting this thing up, and I'll be back in a second. Ooh, oh, no, oh, I messed up. Oh my gosh, what did I do? Bam! And here we are, guys. We are loaded into Bassite. Okay, the first thing you always want to do when you get into a new distro, which in this case, you know, you guys can probably see my taskbar down here. That's not what I did. You guys should always run the update command for your specific distro. This is Bassite. It uses just update. Please, guys, always read the stuff that the distro is telling you. Don't just do something silly. And then I'm gonna let that run for a little bit, and then I'll be back when it's done. We're gonna be taking a look at Minecraft with what I would call fancy settings. Particles decreased, chunk loader set to threaded, FPS set to unlimited, and VSync turned off because I absolutely despise VSync. Everything else was left as is using the default Minecraft settings. We're gonna first be doing a vanilla test, then we're gonna be moving on to a couple shader packs to see how the performance is affected. Oh, and also clouds off. I hate clouds. Right off the bat, the game feels extremely buttery smooth apart from a few micro stutters here and there. I honestly believe that has a little bit to do with me not having a GPU governor installed in this computer. The game is averaging about 170 to 220 FPS at most times, which is, I mean, it does really indicate that this little BC-250, you can have a pretty good high refresh rate experience and play beautifully. And right now we're going to be moving on to the first shader pack that we're going to be testing, and that is complementary shaders. I will say complementary shaders are probably my favorite shaders of all times. Performance impact is not that bad, it gives a very nice visual boost, and as we can see, when I lower my player head, the reflection of the little island does go away. So that lets us know that complementary shaders does not use any ray trace reflections. I mean, I feel like the performance would drop a lot more if it was. And overall, I would say that the performance hit is not bad at all, and you really can't go wrong with complementary shaders. Alrighty, now we're going to be moving to U shaders. And if I'm being honest with you guys, it's not really my favorite. It's that sort of feel that kind of your screen is covered in Vaseline. I also don't really like how aggressive the motion blur is. The game does look absolutely beautiful though, so don't get me wrong. The performance hit is definitely more noticeable. I do think that there is better options as opposed to U shaders when it comes to performance hits. You know, if you're willing to take this kind of performance hit, there's better options to go with. Alrighty, and the fourth and last shader pack is gonna be Kappa shaders. I will say that out of all of the shaders I've tested so far, this is the most beautiful one by far. Come on, guys, tell me that water isn't just water you jump right in, you know, head first, and drink a few sips. I will say though, with great beauty comes great impact. This is the shader pack that has the least performance out of all of them. I do believe though that with some fine tuning, this could definitely be a stable, playable 60 FPS experience. Alrighty, so for our second benchmark that we're going to be doing in the BC-250, we're going to be going through the benchmark of CS2. We're going to be using what people call the competitive settings, you know, the settings that you would usually use in an esports tournament, focusing mostly on performance while ensuring that the character models and all of those things are still very visible. Alrighty, so here we are in the benchmark. So starting right off the bat, we do see a couple stutters, micro stutters right now going through the fire. We do see that the FPS drops down to 90, which is not ideal, but it's also not horrible. I actually saw it go down to 70 something, you know, going through the smoke. The FPS do go down a little bit. You might have to turn down your effect details a little bit. This thing does not seem to like particles, you know, here we go, we see another explosion, we see that it goes down to 60 FPS. Oof, it's looking a little rough for what I was saying about the esports titles preference. I mean, it is a $100 computer, you know, so there's not much to expect from it, if you guys know what I'm saying. I will say overall, though, the performance has stayed pretty consistent, pretty smooth, you know, there haven't been that many stutters during this whole benchmark. Flashbang, going through the smoke again, we do see FPS are more, like we did see a couple micro stutters as we see up there in the FPS time graph. And then going through here, looking at the sky, we do get our highest FPS yet, which was about 160 FPS through the explosion. But you know, as low as it does dip down, we have not seen any FPS in the 50s, at least I hope. FPS have stayed pretty consistent overall, you know, they haven't been too varied. apart from dropping from 170 FPS to 60 FPS, but that's besides the points, guys. Well, and then this marks the end of the CS2 benchmark. So we got an average of, I would say, about 100 FPS, which is pretty decent if you ask me. Alrighty, and for the third and final benchmark, we're going to be doing Cyberpunk. Who doesn't love Cyberpunk, you know? It has become a modern crisis, I guess you could call it, when it comes to benchmarking PCs. You know, can it run Crysis went to can it run Cyberpunk? We're going to be using medium settings with a little bit of a surprise, ray tracing. Woo! Ray tracing, woohoo! But honestly, I shouldn't be so excited. It's not running well, you know? But hey, at least it's looking beautiful while it's running horribly, I guess. Right, guys? Right? Okay, I'm just gonna shut up. Alrighty, now we see here the results with an average of 16 FPS and a max of 21. Also a minimum of 13, which, you know what, it's not too bad, it's pretty stable. I mean, it's absolutely terrible for just regular playing, but I mean, if you're going to be using this thing, I don't think you're going to be using ray tracing that often. As I previously stated, this thing has 16 GB of RAM shared evenly between the system and the GPU. And as you guys see down here, it says Windows 10. This is because the Proton compatibility layer Steam uses, it kind of pretends that it's being run on a Windows PC. I mean, it's kind of magic if you ask me. And if you guys made it this far, come on, you might as well subscribe and give a like. It's totally free, and you can always unsubscribe later. Leave a dislike if you didn't like the video. I totally understand. I'm not gonna blame you. And remember, guys, 1,000 likes and there will be a V2. 5,000 likes, and one of you guys will become the proud owner of whatever this thing is. Remember to stay hydrated, have a beautiful day, and God bless you guys. Thanks so much for watching.